Yes, sir. All right, all right. So, yeah, so basically, when I was in CASHAPP, this dude Pony from Evergreen, he ended up getting validated. So it was basically me and Real after that. Well, a month after Real left, he ended up getting paroled. Whatever he paroled back to Ontario. So I was basically left by myself, and everybody that used to hate on Pony, it was like a majority of the dudes from 18th Street. They basically would power struggle between themselves and Pony, but Pony always had the upper hand. So when he left, they kind of put a bullseye on my back and they tried to get me out of there. Not because I was political or anything, but because I was involved with them. So when Real left, they basically put a bullseye on my back and they tried to get me to do a mission on somebody. Well, I turned it down and they kept coming back pursuing this dude Malo from 18th Street. And when those dudes left, Negative from 18th Street, he took over the yard, and Malo from 18th Street took over the building. So he had Malo try to send me to get on the mission, and I kept turning him down. I told him, no, I'm good. So he kept coming back over and over like, hey, homie, I'm disappointed in your answer. So I kept getting kind of defiant with him, like, hey, you ain't nobody special to be getting disappointed with. First of all, I'm a resident. Second of all, like, I'm not obligated to do anything for anybody other than myself. So you get disappointed all you want, but you ain't nobody. And he didn't really like my answer. Well, at the time, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I struggled with a little drug habit. You know, I was always buying dope or whatever, and at that time, I owed like $600 for some speed. And so he was looking for reasons to get me out of the building. And given that he couldn't get me out of the building or off the yard because of that reason, given it wasn't legitimate, he threw my drug debt into the situation and he used that as criteria to get me off the yard. So one day, I'm just chilling in the cell, kicking back on my cellie, and one of the porters comes over. He says, "Hey, you got a package?" I said, "All right, that's cool." And he's real content on trying to get me out early. So, like, at this point, I really don't know why. But I'm like, all right, cool, you can get me out early, cool. So I'm over here excited because I got a package or whatever. And, you know, in prison, you ain't got much to look forward to. All you got to look forward to is your phone calls, your visits, your package, the little things. So I'm over here hyped up, like, cool, all right, he's about to get me out of my cell. He's going to get me out early for the package and whatnot. So he popped me out, and I had a bad feeling for some reason. You know, I'm over there a little excited, but something was off that day. Like, I felt, I don't know, like I had to watch my back for some reason. Something was off. So I ended up going to the package window, getting my package, and I'm about to hit the yard. On the right side, I'm trying to get back to the building to drop off my package while the building's coming out for yard. So a majority of the inmates are already outside. They start playing soccer or whatever, and I'm not really thinking much of it, but I'm walking towards the right side, and this dude Mousy comes up to me, and he starts distracting me, like, hey, what's up, man? You got your package? What's up? Can I get some sweets, whatnot? And we start walking or whatever, having, you know, a little minimum conversation. And he keeps distracting me to the right side for some reason. And at this time, I'm carrying my bag over my left shoulder. I can't really see everything that's going on to the left of me because I'm over here conversing with Mousy. He's from San Diego or whatnot. And, you know, we're walking back to the building, and next thing you know, I just feel a hard impact on the left side of my head. I'm kind of dazed, but I come to, and it's some dude named Frank from Long Beach. He's standing right there squared up with me. And I don't really remember him hitting me, but when I came to, he was squared off facing me. So we both squared off, and I didn't know why he cracked me to begin with, but I dropped my bag and we start going at it. And I'm over here thinking it's a one-on-one. I'm not even understanding like why we're fighting, but he put his hands on me, so I'm defending myself. Well, long story short, next thing you know, I just remember like being in a daze. I remember like just being completely out of it. Well, when I came to, the yard was down. All the inmates were facing me, and I was laid up against the wall. I was like soaked in blood. I had all kinds of seals right there, like telling all the inmates to stay in spot. And I'm looking around like just incoherent, not even knowing what happened to me, man. All I know is I got blood all over my face, all over my arms, all over my shoes. I don't know what happened, but the seals are telling me to just stay there, don't move. And at that time, they had the level 1s and level 2s in the back of the medical van. So the medical van pulls up to the yard. They pick me up. They put me in the back seat or the back of the van. They have me lay down and whatnot. And they tell me, now, whatever you do, don't get asleep. You got a bad concussion right now. I told them what happened. They're like, well, we'll explain everything to you when we get to the triage. So I'm laying there, and I ended up like going out of consciousness. And when I came to, I was in the triage, and I kept asking the CO, man, what happened? And I heard the CO tell the nurse, see, he keeps repeating himself. He doesn't remember what happened. Well, after a while, I kind of came to, and the CO told me, man, look, you got fucked up on the yard. You got fucked up bad. Frank from Long Beach and Stanley, the dude that I ended up getting into it with, that initially got jumped over and be lower, he was one of the two that jumped me. Well, turns out that Malo and Negro wanted to get me out the yard. First off, because they were hating on me. That's who I used to socialize with. And secondly, they just wanted to get me out of there. They were mad because I turned down their little mission or whatnot. So now I'm in the triage or whatever. They stitch me up. I go to the hospital. I get 4 stitches over my right eye and 3 stitches over my left eye. I went to the hospital with brain swelling. Like, they basically fucked me up for 3 minutes straight. I don't really remember much of it. I just remember the beginning. I took a couple punches, and next thing you know, it was just lights out. I came to in the triage. Well, long story short, I go to the hospital, and the doctor's telling me, man, these dudes ended up beating on you. From what I heard, they beat on you for like 3 minutes. And as to why the SEALs didn't hit the alarm right away, I don't know. But I heard these dudes fucked me up so bad that they started bombing on me at first. They would pick me up, bomb on me again, pick me up, bomb on me again. And they took breaks, caught their breath, took breaks, caught their breath, just kept going. Finally, the yard went down. They threw their bombs. They fired the 40 millimeter. And, next thing you know, I end up in the hospital. Well, I come back, and they put me in ASPEC pending investigation because basically I got removed off the yard. So I was on B yard in CASHAPP at the time. So I'm going to ASPEC. I'm supposed to wait for committee, and then they were going to kick me out to the mainline yard on C yard, which is basically the victim yard. But one of the SEALs was telling me, man, look, you're over here, like you're over here doing all this shit and putting your life at risk, and your mom's possibly gonna lose her son over some fake ass politics, man. Some dudes that don't even give a fuck about you. So you really want to go back to the main line and have to deal with what you're gonna deal with over again, because it's not a done issue. Once you get to that yard, you're gonna have to clean up what you got fucked up for, and then they're gonna send you on another mission on top of that. That alone, you're in the hole right now. So once they clear you for yard, you're gonna have to do a mission back here too. So I just started contemplating all that. And in my mind, I'm like, man, you know what? Like, it's not even worth it. First of all, I don't gangbang. But even if I did, it's just, like, for what? I'm in prison. I'm already in a bad situation. My mom's over here sending me packages. I just got a package from my aunt, that I didn't even get to enjoy because I got fucked up. And, like, it's all for what? Like, some fake-ass politics, man. Some dudes that don't give a fuck, that just use people as pawns just to get themselves higher up or whatever. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I don't know, man. It just, after a while, I just began to notice, man, it's not worth it, It just, I'm over here putting my life on the line, getting into riots, getting into fights, and like, my mom's about to lose her son, like, to fucking getting killed in a riot or getting killed from a 2-on-1 for what? Over some prison politics. So I just say, you know what, fuck it. I tapped out. I rode up, and I ended up coming into the SNY yard. And when I first rode up to the SNY yard, I was depressed. Even though I didn't gangbang, I felt like a piece of shit because I'm used to having like a certain perspective of what I thought were morals at the time. And I'm over here like, fuck, man, I just gave this dude up and I gave this dude up. And I'm over here beating myself up because fucking, I ain't gonna lie, I told him who was running the yard at the time and this and that. And I felt like I had to do that in order to transition to the side. So I was beating myself up like, I can't believe I stooped that low, man. I can't believe I fucking, gave old boy up. And I was beating myself up for that. And because I'm so used to the lifestyle of fucking, seeing things as being a rat and this and that. And, it was hard for me to accept that I gave up the dude that had the yard and I was beating myself up. But I was depressed for a while and I was just walking around just by myself. I didn't know who was who over there. I felt like I went from one world to another one. Like I was in a coma and I got out of it and just ended up in a world that I wasn't conformed to or whatever. So I was just walking around pissed off, mad all the time, and getting into fights left and right, man. Any little thing, my first fight right there was it was over something stupid. I was going out to the yard one time, and when you walk through the metal detector on the level 4s, you got to take off your boots because they got the little metals right there where you put your shoelaces through. So I was bending over one day, and some little-ass kid, I'm used to being in an environment with level-headed people, people who are mature, people who are respectful, and I go straight from years of that to an environment where people have never been nowhere. They've never been accustomed to the main line. They've never been taught, like, respect or good mannerisms, you know, things of that nature. And so I'm bending over one day, putting my boots on, and somebody makes a little-ass kid, like, fart noise, you know, and I brushed it off like, man, that's nothing. It's little kid shit. But it was repetitive. Like, every time I would do it, a certain individual, for some reason, he just had a vendetta against me. He just didn't like me. You know, you got those idiots that are miserable, and they just see somebody, man, I don't like this dude. I don't like how he walks, or I don't like how he talks, or I don't like who he kicks it with. They're just miserable. So, you know, they want to put the target on somebody. And unfortunately, at that time, I had one of those somebody, and he kept making little stupid, unnecessary comments and little fart noises every time I would bend over. So one day when I came out for shower, I recognized what section I was coming to, I went door to door. I told him, hey, look, now my name's so-and-so. Somebody keeps making these comments. Like, what's up? Is it you guys? None of them admitted to it. So I ended up going to my homeboy's door. He said, hey, did you find the person making these little comments? I told him, nah, but you know what? Whoever it was, they're a straight bitch, and they're going to say it to my face. Well, out of all areas, his neighbor jumps on the door, and he said, hey, homie, ain't no bitches here. I told him, hey, so you're the one that said it? He's like, well, I'm not saying I said it, but you better talk to my cellie. So I look at his cellie, and it's some old man. He looks like he's been doing time for a while, but he gives me the cutthroat signal and shaking his head like, man, I had nothing to do with that, man. That's my cellie. So I told him, why you pointing at your cellie? Even if it is him, why you ratting him out? He said, man, get the fuck off my door. I said, man, look, fool, if you got something against me, you got to follow me, be a fucking man, and tell me to my face when the door's open. Don't be doing all this little kid shit behind the door. And he starts wolfing shit. So I told him, man, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. You're getting loud, homie. Just straight up, you're a bitch. When the door's cracked, like, we'll handle our business. So I walked away, and as I'm walking away, he starts calling me a bitch and disrespecting me. And the bitch word is one thing at the time, you know? But he starts doing it in front of the whole tier, so now I'm like, fuck, now I feel obligated to do something because everybody heard it. So a couple of days later, we end up coming out for yards. And he's in C section, I'm in A section, so we get lit out first. I start jogging my laps, and I'm trying to get warmed up because I already know what I'm going to do. Like, oh, boy called me a bitch in front of the whole tier. So I start running my little laps, and I see him come out, and he starts walking up to me. He's like, hey, I got to talk to you. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get at you right now. Let me finish my lap. So I got to talk to you right now. It's important. And I guess his intention was to fire on me. Mine was to fire on him. We're both on the same page. Hey, but, the time's about to run out right now, boxer. Hey, but if it's cool, I'll try to call you again today or tomorrow.